Guys, it's True here, bringing you another True Talk episode, and this one's another one about loot boxes, because the UK have put their opinion across. The UK Gambling Commission have put their opinion across on if the Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot boxes and like Overwatch loot boxes are to be considered gambling, and they have determined that it should not be considered gambling under what their definition of gambling is. And they've concluded that is because, and I'll read the paragraph out to you, it's from the UK Gambling Commission Executive Director Tim Miller. Loot boxes in games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Overwatch aren't gambling because of the items obtained in loot boxes can't be considered money or money's worth. What this means is that items players get in games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 can't be resold or used outside the game, so they don't fall under the umbrella of a gambling activity. Which is a fair enough statement. But, you may say, and I say as well, because I'm under the opinion that they are gambling and need regulating in a way, especially in light of Destiny 2 scandal that's just broke, but we'll get onto that in a second. They also go on to say, which is a promising little aspect of it, even though the UK Gambling Commission determined that loot boxes in video games don't necessarily fall under the legal definition of gambling, it still expressed concerns about the practice. It reiterated its mission to protect children from potentially predatory practices, and it will continue investigating the loot boxes in instances where the line between video gaming and gambling is blurred.
Now I'd call that
the UK Gambling Commission also admitted that just because loot boxes aren't gambling under its definition, it doesn't mean they can't still be harmful to children. It said that parents will expect proper protections be put in place to regulate the creation and sales of these games, though it stopped short of revealing how these protections would be implemented. Okay, so that's something to discuss as well. So the UK Gambling Commission's findings are in line with the ESRB stance on loot boxes. Now, we don't obviously take the ESRB or the or Peggy's stance on loot boxes seriously, because they are funded by the games industry, so they're not going to go against their paymasters, are they? So the ESRB stance on loot boxes, which compared the practice to buying trading card packs. However, it's clear that the loot box controversy is far from over. Okay, so a few things to bring up there. So if ESRB are comparing them to buying trading card packs, now I know these are coming from two different organisation bodies, but if ESRB are considering them to be like buying trading card packs, then going on the UK's decision of why they're not deemed loot boxes. Let me just go back up to the paragraph on the screen there, bear with me, you obviously can't see what I'm doing on the computer here, but yeah, they said, what did they say again, the exact wording? What this means is that the items players get in games like Star Wars Battlefront can't be resold or used outside the game, so they don't fall under the umbrella of a gambling activity. So based on that, then the UK Gambling Commission should consider gambling trading cards, because they do have a monetary value. They can be resold. They can be resold for quite some money, because you obviously get some cards that are very, very difficult to get.
I'm going to tell you,
so do the UK government consider trading card packs gambling? No, they don't. So the statement that they've come out with doesn't make an awful lot of sense, really, does it? Because they're saying if it did have some real world value, then it would be considered gambling. That's what I'm reading that they've said there. I'm reading it again just to make sure. The items obtained in loot boxes cannot be considered money or money's worth. What this means is the items players get in games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 can't be resold or used outside the game. Okay, so there's a contradiction in stance anyway, because you can buy packs of trading cards, whether it be Magic the Gathering or we don't really have baseball cards over here in the UK. There's a lot of football albums that come out there, soccer albums as you call them in the US. But so under that definition, the reasoning why they're saying they're not gambling, surely trading cards are gambling. But trading cards in the UK aren't considered gambling and aren't regulated. But I am glad to see that they have said that they have got concerns over them, but it doesn't fall under their definition. So therefore, the argument must move on then. So if it doesn't fall under the definition, then the definition definitely needs reviewing and changing and looking at, because is it fit for purpose anymore? Obviously the world moves on, things change, and laws become outdated and have to adapt with times, have to adapt with technology, have to adapt with people's lifestyles, just to make sure everybody is obviously protected. So then I say the argument must now move on to, like I say, changing the definition of what gambling is, or at least a review of what gambling is. This is all in light as well of the Destiny 2 debacle. Destiny have been caught, or Activision and Bungie have been caught rigging the system. And for those of you who don't know what this is about, basically a Reddit user did an awful lot of work on their own bat because they didn't think something was adding up correctly, and yeah, they've been nobbling the XP. I don't play Destiny 2, so this was all new to me, but apparently when you get to the cap of level 20, you no longer earn XP to progress your character. When you fill the XP bar up, you earn something called a bright engram, which gives you a customizable option for your character. Now, for me, that would be worth absolutely zero, because you know, I couldn't care less what my character looks at, especially with it being a first-person game as well. That's just bizarre. Other people can see it, but you can't. Yeah, even more bizarre. But anyway, that's a separate point entirely. But basically, yeah, you earn one of these bright engrams once you fill the XP bar up after you reach level 20. You have to go and redeem these bright engrams at the marketplace stall in one of the game's hubs or something or other. But when you go into this, and then it throws, obviously, purchase engrams at you, so you have to redeem them where you actually purchase them for real world money. So it's kind of like being thrust in your face to try and get you to buy these, but they've been nobbling the XP system. They've users found out that the longer you grind an activity, it puts a scaling system in place where it's a negative scaling system, where it actually reduces the amount of XP. Even though it may say you're getting 1,000 XP on your screen when you kill something, you're actually not.
Want to help me to get to Bonnie?
Like I said, the user did loads of research, and after a few hours he managed to get his XP gain down to 4% of what was being shown. Now obviously that was done intentionally by them to stop people earning through playing the game bright engrams, because they wanted you to purchase them. They wanted the progression of those, the progression of earning those to be so pitifully slow that you thought, I can't be arsed waiting for this, I'm going to buy a load of them. You know what I mean? And this is the example of why we need regulation in this. Forget if it's gambling for a second or not. This needs regulating. It's borderline fraud, to be honest with you. It's just despicable. And this is a company that just is selling cosmetic tat. You know, what are the mobile companies up to? The mobile game companies up to? You know, on your iPads, on your Android store, when it's pay to win tactics. These guys are going to be even more shady. I don't care if it's gambling or whatever, it just needs regulation. Consumers need protecting, because we're just being royally ripped off. And as I said before in a previous video, with these kind of loot boxes or anything like this, whether it be a mobile game, Star Wars Battlefront, Overwatch, whatever, you can't have the person you're paying the money to regulating the drop rates on everything, because it's open to abuse, as Bungie have just and Activision have just proved it to be. So anyway, I'm going to leave the video there, guys. Thanks for watching. Please continue to watch and subscribe and share the video. It does really help the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.